How can one prove that all the mythical stories were real happenings? One way to do this is to find similarities in various mythologies, as doing so would confirm that every region of the world witnessed the same superpower. Today, we have brought to you one such deity, Lord Ganesha, whose existence has been confirmed by more than 10 other countries apart from India. So sit tight and be ready to get surprised and shocked by the fact that there's a possibility of Ganesha actually being real. Let's begin. So Ganesha is easily recognized thanks to his elephant head on a human body. In Hindu mythology, he is commonly regarded as the god of intelligence and knowledge, the remover of obstacles, and more broadly as the Lord of Beginnings. He is also the Lord of the Arts and Sciences. With respect to his origin, numerous stories center on the birth of Ganesha. He is typically regarded as the child of Shiva and Parvati, while numerous myths claim that just one parent was responsible for his birth. There's also a story behind his elephant head. According to a popular myth, Parvati created Ganesh to watch over the door as she took a bath, and when he didn't allow Shiva to enter through the door, Shiva severed his head. Knowing this, Parvati got angry and demanded for the life of her son to be restored. So Shiva resurrected Ganesha using the head of an elephant. He is mentioned before all other gods in the oldest inscription, which was created by the merchants and is worshipped during a variety of sacred and secular events, particularly when beginning new endeavors like purchasing a car or opening a business. But he is not only worshipped in one mythology, as his significance is well known across the world. He continues to be a well-known character in Southeast Asian art. However, his portrayals vary depending on the country and his Indian origins. Now, let us explore further where the paintings and sculptures of Ganesha originate, including Indonesia, Cambodia, Thailand, Malaysia, Laos, and Vietnam. Particularly in Southeast Asia, his depiction is diverse and colorful. Additionally, Ganesha idols may be seen in China, Japan, Afghanistan, Nepal, Khotan, and many other countries. Ganesha in Indonesia. This is reportedly the only nation in the world to feature Ganesha on currency notes. Up until around the 15th century, Ganesha images were highly common in Indonesia. In fact, there is a major distinction between the Indian and Indonesian representations of Ganesha. A tantric Ganesha, which is unusual in India, is presented by Indonesia. They have a tusk, rosary, combat axe, and an empty bowl. They're also seated with their feet touching each other and both legs horizontally bent. An evil visage may be observed on the back of the head of a Ganesha figure from 1239 CE discovered in Bara. In South Bali, an enthroned Ganesha is encircled by flames, implying that he is a protector of royalty according to Balian belief. It is, in a sense, a special representation of the god. Ganesha in Cambodia. Ganesha is known as Pra Kenes in the 7th century inscriptions from Cambodia. He is represented as wearing a short wraparound skirt with the center front that falls in a series of flaring folds. One distinctive aspect of Cambodian Ganesha is a conventional two-armed sitting representation, complete with anklets and a snake wrapped around the left ear. Inscriptions found here include slaves among other tributes made to Ganesha. He has noticeable big ears and a straight trunk but rotates to the left to eat sweets out of the bowl in his left hand. The hand to the right is holding an axe, signifying the god's royalty. Ganesha in Borneo. Though little is known about Ganesha's origins in Borneo, it is believed that Ganesha traveled to Borneo, the farthest point east. A four-armed Ganesha is there, among other gods, in a cave near Kombeng. With an axe, rosary, straight trunk, gap between the brows, and a crown, Ganesha here surely has a distinct look. Ganesha in Thailand. He arrived here in the 6th century CE, during the time of the Hindu Mon dynasty. The rulers of this dynasty constructed a number of Ganesha temples. In this location, Ganesha is seen sitting with a serpent, a mouse under his right leg, and his left leg folded, where there is a well-placed head on the shoulders and bowed trunk. His unique, beautiful trait is his round eyes, and while he only has one arm, it splits into two at the elbow. His tusks are both intact and he is holding a radish in his hand. Ganesha is known as Pra Pinkanet in Thailand. Ganesha in Myanmar. There are various representations of him in southern Myanmar, one of which is an impressive four-armed representation of Ganesha in a sitting room, clutching an axe, rosary, and conch while resting the fourth arm on the lap. The carvings of a crocodile next to his feet and a tortoise and fish to the right and left of the legs are fascinating features. Here, Ganesha is still worshipped and is called Maha-Pien. Ganesha in Japan. In the 9th century, a Buddhist monk brought Vinayaka, as Ganesha is called in Japan, to the nation. The broken tusk, radish, and axe are all held by the Japanese Vinayaka. He also has a third form called Kakuzencho, in which he has 3 heads, each with 3 eyes. He has a sword, radish, and sweets in his hands. The Kangi 10 artwork depicts 2 elephant-headed characters holding hands behind each other's back. This particular Ganesha form was initially brought to Japan from China, which became a tantric cult secret form of the god Ganesha Kangi 10. Ganesha in China. Even now, Ganesha is a well-known god in Japan and Mongolia, but is rarely seen in China and Korea. Of course, this wasn't the situation in China until the 9th century. In the 6th century, Kongxian is where he first appears in China. In his right hand, he holds a lotus, and in his left, he is holding either a sweet or a gem. Ganesha is also depicted with his brother Kartikeya at Tunhuang, where he is seen with a broken tusk in his left hand while wearing a flowing scarf and pleated bottom. In addition to this, there are 2 quite interesting depictions of Ganesha from Tang Dynasty. One of them may be seen as a bronze censer that bears a kneeling Ganesha statue on its lotus bud finial. It is shown with beauty and grace, and he is holding a jewel in one hand. The second picture features a strong muscular guy sitting in a dhoti that is now on display in the Cleveland Museum of Art. His third eye is clearly visible. He carries a burning pearl in his left hand, giving the impression that he is a lord of wealth. Lastly, Ganesha is also portrayed as a Buddhist protector by the name Xiang Shen Wang, which stands for the Elephant Spirit King. Ganesha in Central Asia and Afghanistan. Ganesha was known in Afghanistan as Maha Vinayaka throughout the prehistoric era. A Ganesha statue from the early 6th century is currently located in Kabul. This lovely artwork has 4 broken limbs, but you can see the traces of the broken tusk and the trunk bending to the left. His trunk comes to a knot that resembles the hood of a snake. Another depiction of Ganesha originates from the north of Kabul. He may be distinguished as Akadanta because of his fractured left tusk. His ears resemble fans. It is believed that Ganesha left Kabul and traveled farther north to Khotan, Chinese Turkestan, where he is shown in tight-fitting tiger skin and wearing a pair of trousers. He has 4 arms, and one of them is clutching a radish. He is also 6-armed in some regions, carrying the sun, moon, a flag, and a sweet with a lemon behind his head. Ganesha in Sri Lanka. Given that Ganesha was and continues to be a beloved god on this island state, it is expected to see several images of the god there. A highly lovely 4-armed sculpture of Lord Ganesha is seen in Polonnaruwa, holding an axe, a noose, and a sweet. In contrast to the figures from the other nations mentioned above, it is difficult to find any such notable differences or unique characteristics in Sri Lanka. However, he is still very popular in Lankan culture and religion, being loved and worshipped greatly there. And with this, we come to an end for this video. Let us know in the comments below if you think that all the religions in some way are connected, and if there is something common in the mythology of the entire world. Also, if you enjoyed the video and want to know more about ancient mythology, make sure to like and subscribe so we can bring more of such stories to you in the future. We'll see you next time. Until then, goodbye.